During this presentation, you will see various ways that I demonstrate advocacy and activism as a teacher and a leader floating across the screen. The image of the early childhood teacher is defined through the various key documents that all can be found in a sequa. In looking at the National Quality Frameworks in a sequa, we find that in July 2009, the Council of Australian Governments agreed to a National Early Childhood Development Strategy. This became known as the Early Childhood Development Reform. As this was developed further, there were specific goals that were identified. These goals include provide access for all children to preschool, close the gap on Indigenous early childhood development, keeping Australian children safe from harm, kindergartens to deliver high quality and inclusive programs that make the most of the time that children are playing and learning, support for children with disabilities during the transition to the NDIS. This was followed further by the National Quality Framework, which consists of a sequa, the National Quality Standards, Early Years Learning Framework, and the Education and Care Regulations and Law. The National Quality Framework aims to raise the quality and drive continuous improvement in education and care services. These all speak to the role of the early childhood teacher and give a broad range of things that we should advocate for or engage in activism to support in relation to the delivery of the high quality program to all of the children in our settings. When I consider my philosophy of leadership, I recognise the growth I've made in relation to role modelling to other team members in a much more proactive way and addressing issues as I see them using reflective discussions about practice, having professional discussions with my colleagues and mentor through a collaborative approach, inspiring the team through sharing the vision of what we aim to achieve as a room environment through thoughtfully set up and inviting play spaces. Rudolf Steiner places an emphasis on play and imitation for children up to the age of 7 years. Loris Malaguzzi describes the impact educators will have by paying particular attention to the environment. We also need a strong reflective practice and ensure that everyone feels that their voice is heard and appreciated. Commit to research and continued professional learning for ourselves and our teams, and to ensure we are transparent in our communication, to be approachable and to always conduct ourselves with open and honest communication that is delivered with kindness, respect and professionalism. This includes having those challenging conversations. We also need to access the support and services of other professionals, such as the preschool field officer, allied health professionals, maternal child health nurse, for the different perspectives they can give us, and then we need to implement their recommendations through our intentional teaching strategies. This is reflective of Gardner's multiple intelligence, where he recognised that learning and thinking is done in different ways for different children. In all of the National Quality Framework documents, there is an importance placed on the relationships that we build with the children and families, our team, our community, and other professionals that we network with. In building honest, trusting and respectful relationships with these stakeholders, we are best able to identify any issues or problem which we need to champion on their behalf or alongside them, as well as to assist and support each other with the best outcomes for the children and families in mind. This links to Bronfenbrenner's social cultural theory, which gave a greater focus to involving families and the community. Our advocacy or activism as early childhood teachers is stated every time we use the phrase lead, courage, effective communication, planning, vision, persistence, commitment, persuasion, further training, networking, collaborate, insist, moving towards, strengthening, promote, develop, role model, just to name a few. In the book, Being an Early Childhood Educator, the following provocation is posed. What is education for? What are you for in education? I believe my passion for advocating for children began when I first read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett and read of the plight of the 3 main child characters. One lived in poverty, another had a severe medical condition, and the third was neglected. It really upset my 12-year-old self that children were treated in this way, but it also awakened my compassion for them. The UNICEF social experiment also spoke about how children are treated plays a pivotal role in shaping their approach based on how they were dressed and perceived. While I'm a natural advocator, I'm less likely to engage in activism. But as I said, you will see some of the ways I advocate throughout this presentation. Thank you.